The following podcast has been paid for by Perched on the Top Rope.
This is Big Papa Pump. You're listening to Perch on the Top Rope.
Welcome everyone to Perched on the Top Rope. I am your host, former dirt sheet writer from Daily DDT, Ringside News, Sports Kita, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Lee Walker. And is the long wait almost over? Could AJ Lee soon make her return to WWE? The incredible popular former Divas champion retired from wrestling over a decade ago, but fans have always held out hope that she'd make a comeback to the ring one day. I, being one of those fans, took the opportunity to meet her during COVID at the big event. Now, the closest anyone has seen Lee in a wrestling ring over the past 10 years, however, has been her role as El Dorado in Season 2 of Heels on Showtime. Now, the hype train has officially gone off the rails following the shocking finish to WWE's Clash in Paris on Sunday night. Becky Lynch, the wife of Seth Rollins, interfered in the main event by low-blowing CM Punk, obviously the husband of AJ Lee, and costing him the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the Fatal 4-Way match that saw Seth Rollins take on CM Punk, Jey Uso, and L.A. Knight. Yeah! Now, moments before Lynch got involved in low-blowed CM Punk costing him the championship, we as fans could hear Seth Rollins telling CM Punk that he hated him and his quote-unquote stupid family. Following the loss, CM Punk was also seen grabbing a sign from a fan in the crowd that read, "Bring back AJ Lee." While the Jackie Redman and Big E discussed the topic, further stoking the rumors, the closing events of the show immediately had fans talking online, and there appears to be some truths to this. The rampant speculation coming out of Clash in Paris. WWE sources have indicated that AJ Lee's name has been brought up in numerous pitches internally as of late. According to Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful Select that was reported Sunday evening, "We can't confirm an AJ Lee return is a go, but sources in WWE said there has been more traction on it of late than in previous years." And during the podcast, The Takedown on SI, John Elba has also independently confirmed that AJ Lee has been brought up in WWE creative meetings in recent months. And also, according to Sean Ross Sapp, he says that AJ Lee has largely been uninterested in making a return to the ring since her retirement. But that has not stopped the constant overtures from fans, current women on the WWE roster, and even her own husband at times. Now the question is, will AJ Lee return for Wrestlepalooza? Now, AJ Lee last wrestled on March 30th of 2015 on an edition of Monday Night Raw where she teamed with Paige and Naomi to defeat the Bella Twins and Natalya in a 6-women tag team match. Is it realistic to expect she'd be ready to go for the next PLE? Well, one WWE higher-up in the last few weeks had told Fightful that if she were to return, they don't have concerns about her time out of the ring for a number of reasons. Ross Sapp said in his report, one being that she looks like she just left TV at all times, and because she's married to someone who also took a long amount of time off from wrestling and returned, according to the Sean Ross Sapp. WWE was reportedly looking to build some major buzz coming out of Clash in Paris, with their next premium live event being the first one on ESPN direct-to-consumer streaming service. Well, mission accomplished. The return of AJ Lee would be a massive booking victory for WWE, especially if they can get her back in time for Wrestlepalooza. Now, the event is less than 3 weeks away, so we should find out if that will be the case rather quickly. And even more so, if you watched WWE Raw on Monday, then you saw that Becky Lynch had come out and interrupted CM Punk during his promo, gonna hold up WWE Raw, the show itself, at one point. Seth Rollins' music hits, and instead of it being Seth Rollins, it's Becky Lynch. Now, she comes out, and during this time, she's taunting CM Punk. She starts slapping CM Punk. She even headbutts him in the chest at one point during this promo. And Punk warned Lynch that she is going to regret putting her hands on him. Punk then all but confirmed that he'll be showing up on SmackDown in his hometown of Chicago. Now, there were multiple chants for Lee during the Punk-Lynch promo battle, and at one point Lynch responded to the fans, "Classic. Always chanting for a dope that doesn't work here." Now, fans, I will say this. AJ Lee's return could be a massive blow for AEW, and what I mean by this is WWE are counter-programming AEW on September 21st, since WWE has announced that they are going to have Wrestlepalooza, the PLE, is the same night as AEW's All Out. It is expected that John Cena will face the returning Brock Lesnar, while Cody Rhodes will put his WWE Championship on the line against Drew McIntyre during this pay-per-view. It is expected that AJ Lee's big return this Friday is set to have the match apparently set for Wrestlepalooza, which will be CM Punk and AJ Lee taking on Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. And with AJ Lee's big return, this looks to be set up for a fantastic show that will feature two of the biggest returns of the TKO era, which will be AJ Lee and Brock Lesnar. And that's bad news for AEW, who are up against quite literally the most stacked match card of any WWE PLE this year. However, AEW has been on a roll lately, I will admit that, and the most recent pay-per-view, being Forbidden Door, was hugely successful, with Adam Page and MJF putting on a spectacular match for the AEW World Championship. Now, AEW has been building momentum, it's exciting, and they are building towards All Out, where we will see Adam Copeland and Christian Cage team up against FTR. Now, Tony Khan could try to respond to AJ Lee and the Lesnar's return matches by booking an AEW return of its own, especially considering Chris Jericho's future is up in the air, with Jericho's contract reportedly up next year, and there's talk of a WWE return. And, he hasn't been featured on AEW TV since April, but that is due to commitments away from the ring. There is some irony in AJ Lee's return, coming the same night that WWE chose to go up against AEW for the first time. Because on this day, I see clearly. Not really. 2 years ago, CM Punk was fired by WWE's biggest rival for backstage altercations, and both parties have yet to make amends. Punk returned to WWE in November of 2023 at Survivor Series in Chicago and has enjoyed one of his best runs, including feuds with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. He shot down talk of his wife returning, but told fans that she's been missing them whenever her name is chanted. Now, Becky debuted on the main roster 3 months after AJ Lee essentially retired from WWE in April of 2015 after WrestleMania 31. But Becky Lynch recalled their meeting in her autobiography titled Becky Lynch, The Man, and she stated, "When I opened my eyes, I noticed the women's champion, or as they awfully named it, the Divas champion, AJ Lee, was standing to the left of me, typing furiously into her phone. Without picking up on social cues, I greeted her, 'Hello,' 4 octaves higher than normal, with the underlining desperation of 'please like me.' Lynch added, 'I'm Rebecca.' She looked up and stretched out my hand to shake hers, grunted what may have been a hi before going back to finger punching her phone, leaving me with my arm outstretched, fondling the air. This is going horribly, I thought as I sat on the bathroom stall." This is an interesting layer, honestly, of the potential feud between the duo for WWE to tap into should AJ Lee indeed return, which it really does seem like that. And especially now with Lynch having taken on a cocky heel gimmick much like her husband that feels scorned by her peers, including CM Punk, whom she called the poster child of apathy. And given the frostiness of her first encounter with his wife AJ, it could lead to a really cool or tense exchanges depending on how you see it. Now, this isn't the only time so far that we have seen Becky take a jab when it comes to AJ Lee. If you rewind to March earlier this year, you might remember the controversy that ensued online after Lynch posted a tweet that didn't go down too well. She made light of Punk and Roxanne Perez, who idolized AJ, wearing matching attire, and wrote, "Catching up on Raw. I don't think I'm the one who needs to come get my man." And of course, she's referring to the matching gears between Roxanne Perez and CM Punk. Lynch did delete the post after receiving backlash because AJ wasn't involved in WWE programming. But it could be raised in a possible rivalry involving the trio. I mean, I don't really see that because, Roxanne Perez being, Judgment Day and all. But it would be a clever way for the man to get under Punk's skin if we spent weeks getting teased about a possible return that we seemingly, it seems like 99.9999999% that we are getting AJ Lee's return to WWE. And one thing I do want to point out is that fans have been sharing the WWCC shorts of CM Punk and AJ Lee training in the ring together. I do want to point out that was old footage of them that people are sharing around now, almost trying to pass it off as new. So I do want fans to be aware that that is not new footage, okay? So just be aware of that. And ladies and gentlemen, an update just came across my phone while I am doing this show, thanks to Fightful Select. Sources tell SRS that AJ Lee's return and match could be more than a one-off. So that's really exciting. Really freaking exciting right there. And I also brought up Brock Lesnar. And it is expected that Brock will face John Cena at Wrestlepalooza, which will be a huge, huge event for ESPN, considering that John Cena having his crossover into Hollywood and Brock Lesnar having his crossover with UFC. So even if you are not a wrestling fan, you know who these two men are. And earlier this year at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar returned after Cody Rhodes defeated John Cena to regain the undisputed WWE Championship in a street fight, and Brock Lesnar attacked John Cena. Well, this makes for a perfect first main event for ESPN. While Lesnar does have his critics for returning to WWE, and WWE has their critics for bringing back Brock Lesnar, it feels like it's unlikely he returned just to lose his first match back. But it would make sense to have Cena win this match, because Cena, as of Clash in Paris, won his 99th PLE/pay-per-view victory. And what a better way than to start off the ESPN WWE relationship than to have John Cena win his 100th PLE match on ESPN direct-to-consumer app. And speaking of John Cena, folks, if you watched that match between him and Logan Paul at Clash in Paris, then you have noticed that John Cena used AJ Styles' finisher, the Styles Clash, during the match. And John Cena's retirement tour has sparked a lot of speculation about which opponents he might face before stepping away from the ring. Now, he's already battled rivals like Randy Orton, CM Punk, but fans have also pushed for another showdown with AJ Styles, who shared 3 classic matches with Cena back in 2016. Now, again, we saw John Cena defeat Logan Paul, and during the bout, both men paid tribute to several stars, including Paul, who performed Nick Namath, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler, Zigzag. We watched him do the uppercut like Claudio Castagnoli, a.k.a. Cesaro, and in turn we watched John Cena hit Christopher Daniels' Angel's Wings. We watched him hit Baron Corbin's End of Days, and of course the Styles Clash, leaving fans surprised. Now, following the victory, Cena spoke at the WWE Clash in Paris post-show and explained his tribute. He said he used moves like the Styles Clash and Angel's Wings to honor opponents who influenced his career. I'm trying not to reflect on it too much because there's always another match to have. My favorite match is always my next one. And thanks to your perspective that I seem reinvigorated out there, I will say that I've had a lot of opponents over the years, and with 8 appearances left. Cena said he won't be able to wrestle everyone. Instead, he chose to pay respect by performing their moves. I know I'm not going to be able to wrestle everybody who was influential in my career, but I think you saw tonight that the best way I can say thank you to some of those people who affected my career is to kind of pay homage by maybe taking some risks and doing some stuff that I don't normally do out there. I got to shout out AJ Styles. But I'm just saying, hopefully I can do more of that and take my game to a different level, and in turn do what we're supposed to do, and that's entertain the fans. Damn. So that's actually, like, pretty deep, that he's going out there and doing moves of other wrestlers that seemingly he would like to wrestle, but he's not going to be able to wrestle, so why not pay tribute to them in the match itself that he's facing somebody else? I'll be interested to see who else he does this with. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Perched on the Top Rope. You can find us anywhere and everywhere podcasts are found, from Apple, Spotify, Google, Podbean, Podbay, Red Circle, you name it, we're there. It's Perched on the Top Rope. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/perchedonthetop with over 24,000 followers going strong. You can also find us on Threads and Instagram at Perched on the Top Rope Podcast. You can find us on X and Blue Sky at Perched Top Rope, because Perched on the Top Rope was too long. You can also find us at twitch.tv/Perched on the Top Rope, where we are an affiliate on Twitch. So come watch us every Sunday, unless there's a PLE or pay-per-view. But come catch us on Sundays at 8 p.m., where we stream WWE 2K25, other wrestling video games, and even some Fortnite, because why not? It's twitch.tv/Perched on the Top Rope. So remember, fans, spoiler free's the way to be. I'm out.